Okay, got some little marks along in here. I'm going to go ahead and pull two at the same time. Really reef into the knife. Come back and scrape up your excess. I think I've got pretty much all I'm going to do at the moment. I'll go around and finish up whatever I have in the bag in a little place. No use in wasting the stuff. I can always use it someplace. So we'll come back after it cures. Okay, it's time to do the third and final coat of the fairing compound. I'm going to use some more sculpt wood paste. I'm finding this has been pretty good, because the other thing you have to deal, or your other choice, is the slow fair. And then, like I said before, it comes in these gallon and a half kits. And I keep trying to get them into coming out with a smaller one, because the slow fair is a little bit harder than the sculpt wood paste. But for what we're doing underneath the glass area, it's fine. It'll have enough compression value that I'm not going to worry about it. If it was something on the surface, then I would probably go for the slow fair. But this time around, we're going to use, you see it there, we're going to use blue. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it up and bag it, and then we'll come back as I do the third and final coat of fairing on this thing. So trick, when you're putting the part A in the thing first, or any time, well, part A anyway, is you'll get a big gob on the end of it and just tap on the bottom of the base, and it kind of adheres and pulls off, so you're not having to scrape, so you get a better idea, and then tap it down, and then you know the depth of it. But that little trick of just pushing it off the bottom, it tends to suck it down off the stick onto the bottom. And another thing you want to do too is, on your tool, is get some old sandpaper, circular motions to be certain that this is a clean edge. Well, you can see I've got blue on my hands and everything. So let's go along here and put a little blue on. This is probably being very redundant on my part with a 6-ounce cloth on top. I would probably never even notice. Any kind of bumps. So two-handed grip works good too. Some of this up in here is just staining, it'll all sand off. very workable for a long time. No more fairing. It kind of looks kind of blotchy by the time I get done. I finish sanding it down. A lot of this is just the color on the wood, so it's not really any thickness. But here I found a few places where I needed to, especially on the scarf joints. I was able to go up and down as opposed to feather them in this way to give me a little different angle of attack on those joints for the fairing to make them hidden pretty much by the time I get done with the glass. So that's it for fairing with using different colors. Depending on how big the project is, you know, you can go with other colors. You can see the blue and the yellow kind of give you a green tinge where they overlap. So that's another indicator. So after this is a good sand, and then we start on laying out and smoothing cloth, which I'm probably going to do a couple episodes of that just to show you everything from rolling it out to the first pat down and everything. So I've just finished what I'm going to call the final sand, and I've been going along with my hands and feeling for rough spots. There's still some stuff in here on the plywood that's a little rough, but it's okay. That'll just make it easier for the epoxy to absorb into the wood. But I've been going along and just running my hands up and down the seams, and I really can't feel it. I got one little spot in here that, you know, maybe I would do, but when you put a piece of cloth over the top of it, you really can't feel it anymore. When there's something over, like I've said many times before, the 6-ounce cloth is going to cover a lot of little hills and valleys, and you won't, well, the hills may show up, but all the little valleys we've been working on to fill in are not going to be a problem. And I'm not going to waste the time to fill this in. The epoxy will go through. Let me say this again. The epoxy will flow through the glass cloth and then fill up any low spots underneath of it. So it's kind of like self-leveling. So now I'm going to wipe her down, and we'll get out the cloth and start that. Well, there's another thing. I've got to put the masking tape around my border first. You see there's more blue on this side because I used the blue more of it as a secondary coat on some of these long seams where I did the yellow on other ones. So these dark blue ones are going to be where there was just basically white underneath of it. But it's interesting to come along afterwards and see little spots where you get, you know, starts and stops, like right in here, you know, it's yellow and then blue, and so there was some little undulations in there that third coat kind of picked up. I guess you could do this all day long, but we're not trying to make a mold for a fiberglass hull, so if you make it so good, you're going to be too damn scared to get out, you know, unless you got a foam beach someplace you can put it on, and big foam fuzzy shoes to get in and out of it with. Okay, we'll come back and I'll be putting the tape on.